What if I told you the most dangerous habits after 70 aren't the ones your doctor warns you about, but the ones no one ever talks about? You might think life should feel lighter after 70, but for many, it quietly becomes heavier, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And surprisingly, it's not always because of age itself. Often, it's the small, everyday habits, overlooked, dismissed, or brushed off as just getting older, that slowly steal your strength, energy, and independence. In this video, we're going to reveal 6 surprisingly harmful things that many older adults continue to do after 70 without realizing the long-term cost. These aren't dramatic, life-altering actions. They're quiet, familiar routines, like skipping water, skipping meals, or spending too much time indoors. Yet over time, they can chip away at your vitality, confidence, and even your sense of independence. Stay with me until the very end, because recognizing just one of these habits and making a small, intentional change could be the very thing that helps you live stronger, longer, and with more freedom than you imagined possible. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. Turn on the bell so you don't miss more life-changing insights for aging with strength, clarity, and dignity. Number 1. Ignoring hydration because you don't feel thirsty. One of the most common and most overlooked mistakes after 70 is simple. You stop drinking enough water. It's not about being stubborn, it's because your body's thirst signals naturally weaken with age. That means you may not feel the urge to drink, even when your body is in desperate need of hydration. The real danger? You often won't notice the problem until the symptoms quietly creep in. Fatigue that lingers, mild confusion, constipation, dry or fragile skin, and even a higher risk of urinary tract infections. These warning signs may seem unrelated, but they often share one root cause: chronic dehydration. And the longer it goes unaddressed, the more it can impact your health, energy, and quality of life. Infections were becoming more frequent for Harold, a 78-year-old who thought he was taking good care of himself. His daily routine seemed fine: morning coffee, maybe a small glass of juice at lunch, and that was about it. But over time, he began having dizzy spells and trouble concentrating. His doctor didn't find anything alarming at first, until they took a closer look at his hydration habits. The truth was, Harold wasn't drinking plain water. Not because he refused to, but because he simply didn't feel thirsty. That lack of a thirst signal fooled him into thinking he was fine. When his doctor encouraged him to build a simple hydration habit, 1 glass of water mid-morning and another in the mid-afternoon, the change was remarkable. Within a few weeks, his focus improved, his blood pressure became more stable, and he even noticed his skin felt softer, less tight and papery. This is the tricky part about dehydration in older adults. It rarely looks dramatic. Instead, it shows up as fatigue, irritability, or brain fog. Most people never realize how much better they could feel if they made water a quiet, consistent part of their day. You don't have to force down gallons, but you do need a rhythm. Keep a small glass by your bed, drink a bit before meals, and even mild herbal teas count toward hydration. Because when your body stops asking for water, it's not a sign you don't need it. It's a sign you need it more than ever. Number 2. Skipping strength exercises and relying only on walking. Walking is wonderful. It keeps your joints moving, gets your blood circulating, and can clear your mind. But one of the most common traps after 70 is believing that walking alone is enough to maintain strength. Unfortunately, it's not. As we age, we naturally lose muscle mass, a process called sarcopenia, and it progresses faster than most people realize. By the time you're in your mid-70s or 80s, even if you walk daily, you could still be losing critical strength, especially in your legs, hips, and core. And when that strength fades, your balance and stability fade with it. That's when everyday movements, getting up from a chair, climbing stairs, or catching yourself when you stumble, become harder. And in the worst cases, they lead to falls. Dorothy, age 76, walked every single morning without fail. But over time, her legs began to feel weaker, and she struggled to stand up from the couch. One afternoon, she lost her balance while reaching for the remote and fell hard. Thankfully, nothing was broken, but her confidence was shaken. When she met with a physical therapist, she was told something that completely changed her perspective. Walking is excellent for the heart and mind, but it doesn't challenge the muscles enough to keep them strong. Cardio is important, but strength is what truly keeps you steady and on your feet. That's why Dorothy's therapist introduced her to simple exercises, slow wall push-ups, sit-to-stands, and light weightlifting using nothing more than soup cans. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't intense, but it was effective. Within just a few months, she noticed a change. She felt sturdier, stood taller, and moved with a new sense of confidence, free from the constant fear of falling. Strength training isn't just for athletes or bodybuilders, it's for anyone who wants to remain independent, to keep opening jars, carrying groceries, or getting up from a chair or toilet without assistance. And the best part? You don't need a fancy gym. Resistance can come from your own body weight, a set of exercise bands, or light hand weights used just a few times a week. After 70, the real risk isn't moving too much, it's moving too little, allowing your strength to fade until even everyday tasks start to feel like a challenge. And once that strength is gone, regaining it is much harder. That's why the simplest exercises, done consistently, can be your best insurance for maintaining freedom and independence. Number 3. Eating too little out of fear of weight gain. As the years go by, many older adults naturally begin to eat less. Sometimes it's due to a fading appetite, other times because digestion feels slower. But one of the most overlooked and most damaging reasons is fear. Fear of gaining weight. Fear of a doctor warning them about cholesterol or blood sugar. Fear of becoming the version of aging they've always wanted to avoid. So they begin to cut back, smaller breakfasts, skipping lunch, nibbling on a few crackers instead of eating a proper meal. They believe they're protecting their health, but here's the truth. After 70, undereating can be just as harmful as overeating. Without enough nutrients, especially protein and healthy fats, the body begins to draw from its own reserves. That means losing precious muscle, weakening the immune system, slowing wound healing, reducing energy, and even increasing the risk of falls, fractures, and hospitalizations. Ed, age 81, was proud of how lightly he ate, convinced it kept him lean and clear-headed. But his doctor noticed the weight was coming off too quickly. Over time, that slow loss of strength was becoming harder to reverse. Ed had been eating the same 3 meals for years: toast and coffee in the morning, a small sandwich for lunch, and soup for dinner. It was simple, familiar, and easy. But over time, it just wasn't enough. His energy started to drop, his legs felt unsteady, and he bruised more easily than before. When he began working with a nutritionist, the changes she suggested were small but powerful. She added an egg to his breakfast for extra protein. A little peanut butter with his crackers gave him healthy fats. A scoop of protein powder in his oatmeal gave his muscles the fuel they needed. None of it was extreme, but within just a few weeks, his strength began to return. His mind felt clearer. He laughed more, smiled more, and moved with new confidence. This isn't about eating large portions, it's about eating enough. Enough protein to preserve muscle, enough healthy fats to support brain function, enough real, nourishing food to keep your body running strong, not running on empty. And if you've ever thought, I'm just not that hungry anymore, it may be true. But that's not a reason to let your body shrink when it still has so much life to live. You are not a burden for needing fuel. You are not bad for giving your body what it needs. Strength, focus, and resilience don't come from willpower alone. They come from nourishment, and you deserve every bite of strength you can get. Number 4. Taking medications without reviewing them regularly. One of the quietest dangers after 70 isn't something you forget to do. It's something you keep doing automatically without question. Taking medications year after year without checking if they still serve you. Most people start a medication for a valid reason. A spike in blood pressure, high cholesterol, trouble sleeping. But as the years pass, your body changes, and so does the way medication affects you. Your liver and kidneys may process substances more slowly. Your sensitivity to side effects increases. And when multiple prescriptions are combined with over-the-counter pills, supplements, or even herbal teas, the chances of unwanted interactions grow. Sometimes these effects build so gradually you don't notice them until they begin impacting daily life. Phyllis, age 79, had been taking the same set of medications for over a decade. She trusted her doctor completely and never missed a dose. But slowly, she began to feel unusually dizzy, drowsy, and forgetful. Her daughter noticed she was sleeping more during the day and occasionally slurring her words. It wasn't until they finally sat down with a pharmacist to review every single pill that they began to uncover the hidden problem. They did a full medication review, going through every prescription and supplement Phyllis was taking. It turned out that 2 of her prescriptions were interacting in a way that only became risky once her metabolism slowed with age. The solution wasn't complicated. They simply adjusted her doses, removed 1 unnecessary pill, and monitored the changes closely. Within just a month, Phyllis was noticeably more alert, steadier on her feet, and felt like herself again. This doesn't mean you should suddenly stop taking your medication. But it does mean you owe it to yourself to review them regularly, ideally once a year, with your doctor or pharmacist. Bring a complete list of everything you take, from prescription drugs to vitamins and herbal supplements. Ask if the dose is still right for you. Ask if each medication is still truly necessary. Medications are meant to serve you, not manage you, and you deserve to know which ones are helping and which ones may quietly be working against your health. Because after 70, your well-being isn't just about what you take, it's about how wisely and safely you take it. Number 5. Staying indoors most of the time. For many people over 70, spending more time indoors becomes a natural routine. Mobility challenges, unpredictable weather, or fewer social plans can make staying home seem like the easiest choice. But what starts as comfort can slowly turn into isolation. And isolation brings more than boredom. It brings real physical and emotional consequences: weaker bones, lower immunity, reduced muscle strength, and a heavier mood. One major reason? Sunlight. Your body's main source of vitamin D comes from the sun, and without enough of it, your bones become more fragile, your muscles lose strength, and your immune system struggles to function at its best. But the effects aren't only physical. Staying indoors for days or weeks at a time can cause your mind to shrink its sense of the world. Time begins to blur together. You stop seeing new places, meeting new faces, and experiencing fresh moments that keep your brain and spirit alive. Lester, age 82, used to walk his dog every morning, even if it was just a short stroll around the block. But after a mild fall, he became nervous and decided it was safer to stay inside. At first, he thought it was only temporary. But within a few short weeks, his days felt longer, his mood dropped, and even his energy began to fade. He began feeling stiff, his knees ached, and his sleep became restless. Something even more surprising happened. He started feeling anxious, a sensation he'd never experienced before. His daughter noticed the change and suggested something simple: spend just 10 minutes a day sitting on the porch. No long walks, no big effort, just a few quiet minutes in the morning light with a warm cup of tea. Within days, Lester noticed a difference. The fresh air felt good. The warmth of the sun eased his stiffness. A neighbor waved hello, and a gentle breeze passed by. It wasn't a major event, but it was enough to remind him he was still part of the world. You don't need to walk miles to reap the benefits of being outside. Even a bit of sunlight through the window, fresh air on your skin, or a brief step onto your porch can lift your mood, help your body process calcium, and improve your sleep patterns. Life was never meant to be lived entirely between 4 walls, especially not when your heart, mind, and spirit still crave connection. The more you allow the outside world back into your life, even in small doses, the more you'll start to feel like yourself again. Number 6. Avoiding new technology completely. It's tempting to say, "I'm too old for all that," when it comes to smartphones, video calls, or apps. After all, you lived most of your life without them and did just fine. But one of the most quietly damaging habits after 70 is cutting yourself off from technology altogether, especially when it could help you stay connected, informed, and independent. You don't have to become a tech expert, but avoiding even basic tools like messaging apps, online appointment systems, or digital calendars can slowly create a wall between you and the people you care about. Marie, age 74, once refused to touch a smartphone. She said it was confusing, noisy, and simply not for her. But when her grandchildren moved away, she began to feel the distance in a way that truly hurt. She missed birthdays, she missed photos. She missed the casual, everyday chatter that now lived in group texts and video calls. With a little help from her neighbor, she learned just two simple skills: how to read messages and how to join a video chat. That was it. And yet, it transformed her life. Now she gets real-time updates, sees her grandkids' smiles live on screen, and even joined a virtual book club for seniors. This isn't about jumping into every gadget or app that exists. It's not about mastering every platform. It's about keeping yourself included in the conversations and opportunities that matter. More and more doctors now use telehealth and send appointment reminders by text. Even the local library, grocery store, and community centers have moved many of their services online. When you shut all of that out, you're not just avoiding screens, you're risking the loss of tools that could actually make your life simpler, more convenient, and more connected. And the greatest risk? Losing touch with the people and services you care about, not because they've forgotten you, but because you simply couldn't be reached. That's a quiet kind of isolation that can happen without you even realizing it. So start small. Pick just one thing you'd like to learn and ask someone you trust to show you how. Maybe it's sending a photo, joining a video call, or checking an online appointment. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is taking that first step. Because learning something new at 70, 75, or even 85 isn't a burden. It's proof that you're still growing, still adapting, and still very much a part of the world around you. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you won't miss any future videos. Your support helps us continue creating quality content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. When you turn 70, there's no grand announcement telling you which habits to change or which ones to watch out for. But as we've explored today, the things you continue doing, often without thinking, can quietly shape the rest of your life, for better or for worse. So, let's quickly remind ourselves of what to let go of. Skipping water just because you don't feel thirsty, relying only on walking without maintaining muscle strength, eating too little out of fear instead of for health, taking medications without regular reviews, staying indoors so long that the world begins to feel far away, and avoiding technology that could actually bring people and peace closer to you. These may seem like small things, but their impact can be huge. And here's the beautiful truth. You have the power to change them. Not all at once, and not perfectly, but in ways that give your body a better chance, that keep your mind connected, and that help you feel more like yourself again. If even one of these points spoke to you today, hold on to it. Let it be your next small step forward, because aging isn't just about growing older. It's about learning to live smarter, lighter, and stronger with every passing year. Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts truly matter, and reading them gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating valuable content to inform and inspire you. Wishing you health, happiness, and peace. And remember to subscribe so we can continue this journey together.